Ladies and gentlemen, time is the currency of life. It is the most precious resource given equally to every human being on earth, rich or poor, young or old. But while time is free, it is not cheap. You cannot buy more of it. You cannot borrow it. You can only maximize what you've been given. Many people are not failing because they lack talent. They are failing because they lack consistency. Success is not a product of occasional effort. It is born from daily discipline. You must force yourself into habits that your feelings will resist, because destiny is not for the emotional. It is for the disciplined. Listen to me carefully. The greatest enemy of your potential is not laziness. It is the addiction to motivation. Yes, you heard me right. Motivation is overrated. The world has sold us a lie that to become successful, you must always feel inspired. But let me tell you a truth that will change your life. You don't need to feel motivated to be successful. You need to be disciplined. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unstable. They change with the weather. One day you feel like a conqueror, and the next day you feel like quitting. That is the weakness of relying on motivation. Feelings make you unreliable. They turn your life into an emotional roller coaster. But destiny is not given to emotional people. Destiny is given to disciplined people. Discipline is the foundation of consistency, and consistency is the secret to mastering time. Every successful person you admire is not more talented than you. They are simply more disciplined than you. They wake up when they don't feel like waking up. They work when they are tired. They practice when no one is watching. You see their success in public, but you don't see their discipline in private. Success is the reward of private discipline, not public applause. Motivation may start the race, but only discipline will get you to the finish line. Discipline is not an emotion, it is a decision that must be made daily, sometimes hourly. It is a commitment to act, regardless of how you feel. When you are disciplined, you don't negotiate with yourself. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like it today? You simply do what must be done, because you understand that your feelings are not in charge. Your purpose is in charge. You see, motivation is external, but discipline is internal. Motivation needs a YouTube video, a podcast, a speech to ignite it. But discipline is born from within. It doesn't need music or crowds. It needs vision. Discipline is the child of vision. When you see where you're going, you discipline yourself to stay on course, even when it's uncomfortable. That is why people with a clear vision are more disciplined. They are not distracted by temporary feelings, because their eyes are fixed on eternal purpose. Most people never maximize their time because they are slaves to their moods. They work hard when they feel inspired, but as soon as the emotion fades, so does their work ethic. This is why talent is not enough. Many talented people are broke. Many gifted individuals live frustrated lives, not because they lack ability, but because they lack discipline. Talent may open doors, but only discipline will keep you inside the room. You must force yourself to build the habit of discipline. It is not natural. Your body does not want discipline. Your mind does not want discipline. They crave comfort, but destiny is not found in comfort. Destiny is found in consistency, and consistency is born from disciplined actions repeated daily. You cannot pray your way into consistency. You must work your way into it. Prayer gives you vision. Discipline fulfills it. The truth is, you will never feel like doing what it takes to succeed every day, and that's okay. You are not supposed to feel like it, but you are supposed to do it. There is a difference between feelings and commitments. Successful people live by commitments, not feelings. They wake up committed to their goals. They show up for their dreams. They understand that the pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. You must create a system where discipline overrides motivation. Build a schedule and respect it. Have routines and rituals that are non-negotiable. When you set a time to work, work. When you set a time to grow, grow. Don't wait for inspiration. If inspiration comes, that's a bonus. But if it doesn't, your discipline should still get the job done. Discipline is what builds trust in yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-respect. And self-respect is what fuels long-term success. When you become a person of discipline, you become a person of power. You are no longer controlled by circumstances, moods, or the opinions of others. You take ownership of your time. You become intentional with every minute, every hour. You realize that time wasted can never be reclaimed, so you refuse to gamble it away on temporary feelings. Ladies and gentlemen, you will never reach your destiny if you are a slave to motivation. It's time to make a decision. Discipline yourself, train your mind, command your body, force yourself into routines that align with your vision. The more disciplined you become, the more consistent you will be. And the more consistent you are, the more time will bow to your command. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality, and discipline is the architect of that bridge. The future does not belong to those who wish, it belongs to those who work. And the most dangerous lie you can ever believe is that you need to feel motivated every day to be successful. Motivation is not a strategy. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. They are like the wind, they come and go. But discipline is a decision. Discipline is the weapon of champions. It forces you to rise when your body wants to sleep. It compels you to keep working when everything inside you wants to quit. Discipline is not emotional, it is intentional. Every person you admire for their success, whether in business, in leadership, in personal growth, did not arrive at their destination because they felt motivated every day. No, they succeeded because they mastered themselves. They won the battle of discipline. They understood that feelings are followers, not leaders. They made discipline their compass, not their emotions. You must force yourself to build the muscle of discipline. You cannot outsource this battle. It is a war you must fight with yourself daily, because the greatest enemy of your future is not outside of you. It is within. It is the part of you that craves comfort over commitment. Discipline is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. It is the invisible force behind visible success. When you see someone living a life of impact, you are witnessing the fruits of hidden discipline. They did not arrive there by accident. They built it brick by brick, day by day, even when they didn't feel like it. Success does not respond to wishful thinkers, it responds to disciplined doers. But discipline is not just about doing hard things, it's about doing the right things consistently. And that brings me to a second truth you must embrace. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. You see, time is not wasted in years. It is wasted in moments. Every minute you spend pursuing temporary pleasures at the expense of your long-term purpose is a minute stolen from your destiny. The enemy of greatness is not failure, it is distraction, and pleasure, unchecked, becomes a powerful distraction. We are living in a world that celebrates entertainment but despises discipline. People are more committed to scrolling through endless feeds than they are to building their future. But hear me, pleasure is deceptive. It gives you a temporary high, but robs you of lasting fulfillment. Purpose, on the other hand, requires sacrifice in the short term, but rewards you in the long run. The question you must ask yourself every single day is this: is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to my purpose or further away? Every activity you engage in is either an investment or an expense to your destiny. Purpose demands focus. It demands that you manage your time with precision. You cannot afford to live casually if you want to achieve significantly. People who prioritize purpose over pleasure understand that not everything that feels good is good for them. They are willing to endure temporary discomfort for the sake of long-term impact. They understand that success is rented and the rent is due every day. Pleasure will always offer you immediate gratification, but purpose will offer you eternal significance. The challenge is that the rewards of pleasure are immediate, but they are also temporary. The rewards of purpose are delayed, but they are eternal. That's why discipline becomes your guardrail. Discipline keeps you focused on purpose when pleasure tries to seduce you. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they cannot say no to the wrong things. You cannot maximize time if you are careless with your choices. Every distraction tolerated is an opportunity forfeited. Every moment wasted is a seed of regret planted in your future. You must be ruthless with your time. You must become a steward of your days. Time is not just passing, it is counting. It is counting against those who misuse it and counting in favor of those who maximize it. When you discipline yourself to prioritize purpose over pleasure, you begin to multiply your time. You gain a momentum that feelings can't stop. You move from being reactive to being proactive. You stop chasing feelings and start commanding your future. Discipline teaches you that feelings are followers. Purpose gives you a reason to endure discomfort because you are focused on the bigger picture. The most dangerous place to live is in the comfort zone. Nothing grows there. Comfort kills potential. Pleasure is temporary, but purpose is eternal. If you don't master the art of delayed gratification, life will delay your success indefinitely. You must force yourself to say no to temporary pleasures in order to say yes to permanent progress. Ladies and gentlemen, success does not come to those who wait for motivation. It comes to those who are disciplined enough to pursue purpose over pleasure. It is the daily decision to wake up and act in alignment with your vision, regardless of how you feel. Destiny responds to discipline. Time rewards those who prioritize purpose. Discipline is the seed, consistency is the water, and purpose is the harvest. The difference between success and mediocrity is not found in talent, intelligence, or even opportunity. It is found in discipline. Motivation is an emotion, but discipline is a decision. Too many people wait for the feeling to do what must be done, but feelings are unfaithful. They are inconsistent. They change with the seasons. If you live your life driven by motivation, you will never achieve anything lasting. You cannot trust your feelings to lead you into your future. Motivation may ignite a spark, but only discipline will keep the fire burning when no one is clapping for you, when no one is watching you, when you're tired, and when the results are not yet visible. Discipline is not born from inspiration, it is born from vision. It is the relentless decision to align your actions with your purpose, regardless of how you feel. The people you admire, the ones who built legacies, did not reach their destiny because they felt like it every day. They mastered their emotions and forced themselves into routines that produced consistency. Every champion you see has scars of discipline that the crowd never witnessed. They learned that feelings do not dictate commitment, purpose does. Success belongs to those who have trained themselves to act beyond emotions. But discipline is not just about working hard, it is about working with clarity. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. We live in a world that glorifies entertainment, but destiny demands focus. Every minute you spend on trivial pleasures is a minute stolen from your assignment. Pleasure is not the enemy, but uncontrolled pleasure becomes a thief. It seduces you into believing you have time to waste, but the truth is, time is counting. Every day spent outside of your purpose is a day that will never return. Pleasure gives you a temporary high, but purpose offers you lasting fulfillment. You cannot afford to trade your future for a fleeting moment of comfort. People who maximize time are not those who have the most hours in a day, they are those who invest their hours with intentionality. They understand that not every invitation deserves a yes, not every opportunity is aligned with their purpose. They make decisions based on destiny, not on desire. They measure their actions against their vision. If it doesn't serve the vision, it is a distraction, no matter how pleasurable it feels. The secret to mastering purpose over pleasure lies in your daily habits. You cannot leave your destiny to chance. You must create non-negotiable daily disciplines, habits that you practice without negotiation, habits that are not up for discussion. You don't negotiate whether you will show up for your purpose. You don't debate with your feelings whether you will work on your assignment today. You build a structure that forces you to be consistent even when motivation is absent. Success is not hidden in the big moments. It is hidden in the small, boring, repetitive actions that seem insignificant in the moment, but compound into greatness over time. Reading a few pages daily, practicing a skill consistently, dedicating uninterrupted time to deep work. These are not glamorous activities, but they are the building blocks of legacy. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is found in the habits you refuse to compromise. Habits must be built with intention. You must create a schedule and submit yourself to it. Don't leave your day to randomness. Successful people don't find time, they make time. They block time on their calendar for growth, for study, for planning, for execution. These blocks are sacred. They are untouchable, because they understand that discipline is not occasional. It is scheduled. Purpose does not respond to good intentions. It responds to disciplined actions, executed daily, no matter how small they seem. It is easy to be busy. The world is full of busy people who are going nowhere, but it is not about how busy you are. It is about how intentional you are. Purpose-driven people don't just fill their days, they direct their days. They wake up with clarity. They move through their routines with precision. Their habits become rituals of success. Every small habit is a declaration that they are in control of their time, not their emotions, not the distractions around them. You see, destiny is not a product of chance encounters or sudden breakthroughs. Destiny is crafted through daily discipline, protected by purpose, and structured by non-negotiable habits. If you fail to create daily rituals that align with your vision, you will drift into a life of regret. You will look back and realize that it wasn't the big mistakes that derailed you. It was the small compromises, the harmless distractions, the moments where you chose pleasure over purpose, feelings over discipline. Today is not about waiting for inspiration. Today is about making a decision. You must discipline yourself. You must prioritize your purpose over temporary pleasure, and you must build daily habits that are non-negotiable. These are the pillars that will hold up the bridge between your present and your destiny. The future you desire is built in the routines you master today. Time is not kind to those who wait. It rewards only those who take control of it. Too many people are waiting to feel motivated before they start building their dreams. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect environment, the perfect moment. But let me tell you, perfection never comes. Motivation is not a strategy for success. Motivation is seasonal, it's emotional, it's unreliable. You will never become successful if you are a slave to how you feel. Discipline is the true foundation of greatness. Discipline forces you to act when your feelings suggest you should quit. Discipline makes you wake up when the bed feels comfortable. Discipline tells your body, you are not in control here. Without discipline, potential is just an idea that will never see the light of day. But discipline alone is not enough. Discipline must be driven by purpose. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. Pleasure is a seducer. It offers temporary satisfaction at the cost of permanent progress. Every moment you spend indulging in temporary pleasures without purpose is a withdrawal from your destiny account. The tragedy of life is not in failing, but in succeeding at things that don't matter. Purpose gives your discipline direction. It aligns your daily grind with your ultimate goal. When you are guided by purpose, you stop living for weekends. You stop living for temporary escapes, because you realize that every minute matters. The difference between the average and the exceptional is found in how they handle moments of pleasure. The average person chases pleasure now and pays later. The exceptional person sacrifices pleasure now and gets paid in the future. But how do you live a life where discipline and purpose are not occasional moments of inspiration but a lifestyle? You must build non-negotiable daily habits, habits that are not up for discussion, not up for debate. You don't wake up every morning and decide whether you will brush your teeth. It's automatic. That's how your success habits must become automatic, daily and protected. Reading, learning, planning, creating, these must be structured into your day as daily rituals. Success is not built in a single day. It is built in daily disciplines compounded over time. Small acts done consistently create massive impact. But here is where most people fail. They try to rely on willpower every day to get things done. Willpower is a depleting resource. You don't build consistency with willpower alone. You build it with systems. That's why you must master the power of a routine. A routine is not a prison. It is a path to freedom. Structure liberates. When you design a routine that aligns with your vision, you eliminate decision fatigue. You stop wasting energy deciding when to work, when to study, when to create. Your routine becomes your manager. You submit to it and it produces results even when you don't feel like working. The difference between chaos and clarity is a routine. People without routines drift. They wake up and let the day dictate to them what they will do. People with routines wake up and dictate to the day what must happen. They are intentional. They own their time. They don't find time, they make time. A structured routine removes the noise and focuses your energy on what truly matters. It eliminates distractions before they arrive because your schedule has no room for them. Success leaves clues, and one of the biggest clues is that people of impact live by routines. Athletes train at set times, writers write at set times, leaders plan at set times. Their creativity is not a random accident. It is a byproduct of a disciplined schedule. Creativity flourishes when it has a routine to flow through. Discipline without routine is chaotic effort. Routine without purpose is mechanical movement. But discipline, purpose, habits, and routine, when these four are aligned, you become unstoppable. The tragedy is that many people admire the fruit of successful lives, but despise the root system of discipline and routine that sustains it. They want the rewards without the rituals, but the harvest is for the disciplined sower. You cannot cheat time. You cannot bypass process. Every shortcut will cost you twice in the long run. Your destiny is not built in grand events. It is crafted in your daily routine. Your legacy is hidden in your schedule. If I look at your daily habits and routines, I can predict your future. The beauty is, you have the power to design that future. You don't need to wait for opportunity. You need to structure your day. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. You don't need more entertainment. You need more purpose. You don't need more time. You need more focus. Destiny responds to those who have structured their lives with intentional routines, driven by purpose, executed through non-negotiable habits, and built on the solid foundation of discipline. You must force yourself to build this structure. No one will do it for you. Success is not accidental, it is structural. The future you desire is already waiting, but it will only meet the version of you who is disciplined enough to build daily, focused enough to eliminate distractions, and structured enough to master your time. Time does not wait for those who are casual with their lives. Every second you allow to pass by without intention is a second that will never return. There are people who spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect feeling to act. They wait for motivation to wake up early, to start that business, to build that skill. But feelings are inconsistent. They are temporary. Success does not answer to feelings, it answers to discipline. Discipline is greater than motivation because it does not consult your emotions. Discipline is a decision to do what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. Destiny is not a reward for the emotional. It is a crown for the discipline. But discipline alone cannot lead you if you don't have purpose. Discipline without purpose is exhausting. That's why many people get tired. They are working hard, but for the wrong reasons. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. Pleasure seeks to satisfy you now. Purpose seeks to fulfill you for a lifetime. Every day, life will present you with opportunities for temporary pleasure. They come disguised as harmless distractions, but they are destiny thieves. Purpose demands that you look beyond the immediate and fix your eyes on the ultimate. Every time you say yes to purpose, you are planting seeds for a future harvest. Every time you choose pleasure over purpose, you are postponing your destiny. This is why habits are critical. You cannot live by emotions and expect a life of impact. You must build non-negotiable daily habits that align with your purpose. Habits that you practice no matter how you feel. Successful people are not more talented than you. They are simply more consistent. They've learned to build systems into their day that remove the need for motivation. Habits make success automatic. It is not the big moments that make you successful. It is the small, unseen disciplines that are repeated every single day. But habits need a framework. They need structure. That's why you must master the power of a routine. A routine is not a restriction. It is a rhythm. It is the song your life dances to. People who live without routines are constantly overwhelmed. Their days control them instead of them controlling their days. But those who build intentional routines become architects of their destiny. They wake up with clarity. They know where their time is going. They don't waste energy deciding when to work, when to rest, when to create. Their routine dictates their productivity, not their feelings. A structured routine transforms your habits from wishful thinking into powerful actions. It brings order to your chaos. It aligns your time with your purpose. When you have a routine, you eliminate the space for distractions to creep in. You create flow, focus, and momentum. People who live by routine multiply their results because they are not reactive. They are proactive. Their lives are designed around their goals, not around external demands. But even with routines, you must understand that time is a resource that others will always try to steal from you. If you do not guard your time ruthlessly, people will fill it with their own agendas. You must become protective of your time. Not every phone call deserves an answer. Not every meeting deserves your presence. You must learn the art of saying no, not because you are arrogant, but because you are focused. Every yes to a distraction is a no to your destiny. Time is the only resource you cannot buy, borrow, or store. Once it is gone forever. Successful people are not necessarily smarter. They are simply better time managers. They treat time as a sacred asset. They schedule their priorities. They don't allow urgent but unimportant things to steal from the important but non-urgent ones. They understand that every minute spent in distraction is a minute stolen from destiny. Guarding your time is not about being busy, it's about being effective. There is a difference between activity and productivity. Many people are busy but unproductive because their time is being controlled by external noise. When you guard your time, you filter out the noise. You invest your hours where they matter most. You stop scattering your focus and start building momentum. You cannot afford to live a life of reaction. If you don't have a plan for your time, someone else will. You must force yourself to build a wall around your schedule. Protect the hours you've set for growth. Defend the time you've allocated for building your vision. Treat interruptions as intruders that are trying to steal from your future. Every minute matters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to build a life of significance, you must embrace discipline over motivation. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. You must construct daily habits that are non-negotiable. You must master the power of routine and guard your time as the most precious asset you own. These principles are not suggestions, they are laws. If you violate them, you will drift into mediocrity. But if you live by them, you will rise into your destiny. There is a battle you must win every single day, and it is not the battle against the world. It is the battle against yourself. You must conquer your emotions. The biggest lie people believe is that you need to feel motivated to take action. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Feelings fluctuate, they are unstable, but discipline is a force that does not negotiate. Discipline forces you to rise when you don't feel like rising. Discipline is the decision to act in alignment with your destiny, even when your emotions beg you to stay comfortable. You will never become successful if you are a slave to how you feel. You must become a slave to your decisions. But discipline without direction is exhausting. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. Pleasure screams for your attention every day. It calls you to indulge in temporary satisfaction, but purpose demands a higher price. Purpose requires you to look beyond the immediate and see the eternal. You cannot allow momentary pleasures to steal years from your destiny. Every decision you make is either feeding your future or feeding your distractions. You must train yourself to see past the glitter of entertainment and focus on the gold of purpose. Purpose is what gives discipline its energy. Without purpose, discipline becomes a burden. But when you have a clear purpose, you understand that temporary sacrifices are the price of permanent impact. Once you are clear on your purpose, you must build non-negotiable daily habits. Habits are the bridge between your desires and your results. You cannot leave success to chance. You must create systems that guarantee action even when motivation is absent. Successful people don't wait for inspiration to strike. They build daily rituals that align with their vision. Reading, planning, executing, reflecting. These are not occasional activities. They are daily disciplines. Small, consistent actions produce massive long-term results. The secret is not in doing big things once, but in doing small things repeatedly. But habits alone are not enough. Habits must be structured within a routine. A routine is the skeleton that holds your day together. Without a routine, you are vulnerable to distraction. Routines bring order to chaos. They eliminate decision fatigue. When you have a routine, you no longer ask yourself, "What should I do today?" Your day is pre-decided by your purpose. Successful people don't stumble into productivity, they structure it. A routine turns your day into a machine of efficiency. It automates discipline. It makes progress predictable. Even with the best routines, you must understand that time is your most valuable asset. You must guard your time ruthlessly. People will always try to consume your time with their agendas. Not every call deserves your attention. Not every meeting deserves your presence. You must learn to protect your schedule as if it were your life, because it is. Every minute you give to distractions is a minute you steal from your destiny. You must become disciplined enough to say no to the good, so you can say yes to the great. Time is not a resource you manage casually. It is a resource you defend aggressively. Your future is hidden in how you protect your hours. Yet, while you build discipline, purpose, habits, routines, and protect your time, you must also understand a crucial principle. Measure progress, not perfection. Perfection is a trap that paralyzes progress. Many people never take action because they are waiting to do it perfectly, but perfection is an illusion. It is a moving target that will always stay ahead of you. You must shift your focus from being perfect to being consistent. Progress is the true measure of success. It is better to be consistently growing than to be occasionally excellent. Growth happens in small increments. Every day you practice, you get a little better. Every day you show up, you build a little more momentum. The goal is not to be flawless. The goal is to be faithful, faithful to the process, faithful to the discipline, faithful to the purpose. The person who shows up every day, even with small steps, will always outperform the person who waits for perfect conditions. Small steps taken daily create massive shifts over time. Celebrate your small victories, track your improvement. Progress, no matter how small, builds confidence. Every time you measure how far you've come, you gain energy to keep going. Perfectionism kills momentum because it sets an impossible standard. Progress builds momentum because it honors every effort. Success is not about being perfect once, it is about being better repeatedly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to master time and build a life of significance, you must embrace these laws. You must live by discipline, not by motivation. You must prioritize purpose over temporary pleasures. You must create non-negotiable daily habits that align with your vision. You must master routines that structure your day with precision. You must guard your time as your most precious currency, and you must measure your journey by the progress you are making, not by the illusion of perfection. These principles are not optional, they are the price of greatness. If you honor them, time will honor you, but if you ignore them, time will pass and regret will be your reward. There is a law in life that cannot be escaped. You will never rise above the level of discipline you are willing to endure. Talent without discipline is wasted. Dreams without discipline are fantasies. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the wind. But discipline is a choice, a muscle that must be built through force, through decision, through relentless commitment. You will never feel like doing what your destiny demands every single day. That is why you must act based on decision, not emotion. Discipline is greater than motivation because it does not wait for the right feeling to move. Discipline commands the body, the mind, and the emotions to submit to the purpose. But discipline must have a target. You can be disciplined in the wrong direction. That's why purpose must be your compass. Every day, the world will tempt you with pleasure, quick escapes, empty entertainment, meaningless activities that promise a short-term high but steal long-term impact. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. The difference between the great and the mediocre is that the great are willing to sacrifice temporary comfort for eternal significance. Purpose demands sacrifice. It requires you to give up what is good in order to gain what is great. Every time you trade purpose for pleasure, you delay your destiny, and because emotions fluctuate, you need anchors. Those anchors are called habits. You must create non-negotiable daily habits that align with your vision. These are disciplines you execute no matter how you feel. Habits remove the need to make emotional decisions. When the habit is in place, action becomes automatic. The most successful people in the world are not constantly relying on willpower. They are relying on systems of habits that have become part of their identity. Success is not found in occasional bursts of effort. It is hidden in daily disciplines that compound over time. Habits, however, need a structured environment to flourish. This is where the power of a routine becomes critical. A routine eliminates chaos. It brings order to your day. Without routine, you are reacting to life. With routine, you are directing life. A routine is not a prison. It is a pathway to freedom. It removes guesswork. It protects your energy. You no longer waste time deciding what to do. Your routine has already made the decision. When you live by a routine, you multiply your effectiveness because every action is intentional. Every hour has an assignment. Yet even with routines in place, you must understand that your time is constantly under attack. You must guard your time ruthlessly. Time is not money. It is far more valuable than money. You can lose money and earn it back. But when you lose time, it is gone forever. People will demand your time without understanding its value to you. You must become a gatekeeper of your schedule. Not every request deserves a response. Not every opportunity aligns with your purpose. Protecting your time is not selfish. It is stewardship. Your future depends on how well you defend your time from the invasion of trivialities. But while you pursue discipline and guard your time, you must remember that progress is greater than perfection. Many people are paralyzed because they are waiting to do things perfectly. Perfection is an illusion that kills momentum. You must measure progress, not perfection. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Success is not about being flawless. It is about being faithful. Show up every day. Do the work, even if it's messy, even if it feels insignificant. Over time, small consistent actions will yield extraordinary results. Celebrate growth, track improvement, and keep moving forward. Progress builds confidence, and confidence fuels consistency. And there is a truth you cannot ignore. You cannot achieve consistency in isolation. You need people who hold you accountable. Surround yourself with accountable people. People who refuse to let you settle. People who challenge you to stay aligned with your purpose. Accountability forces you to remain consistent because it connects your actions to consequences. When you are accountable, your excuses lose their power. You need a circle that calls you higher, that reminds you of your commitments, that celebrates your discipline and corrects your complacency. Growth accelerates in the presence of the right people. Accountability is not control, it is protection. It shields you from self-deception. Sometimes you will feel like giving up. Sometimes you will convince yourself that skipping a day won't matter. But when you are surrounded by accountable people, they will not allow you to negotiate your destiny. They will remind you of your vision when you forget. They will push you when you are tempted to pause. No one achieves greatness alone. Your environment matters. Build a circle that fuels your consistency. When you combine personal discipline with purposeful habits, structured routines, protected time, and an accountable environment, you create an unstoppable force. These principles will elevate you above average. They will push you into mastery. Success is not accidental, it is intentional. It is a product of disciplined actions, aligned with purpose, repeated daily. Surrounded by the right people, the truth is simple. Your future does not respond to how you feel. It responds to what you decide. You will never feel like doing what your destiny demands every day. That's why you must force yourself into discipline. Discipline is greater than motivation because motivation is emotional, but discipline is intentional. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays when you have built it into your character. It is discipline that will wake you up early. discipline that will make you study longer, discipline that will carry you when the applause is silent. Destiny is not a gift for the emotional, it is a reward for the disciplined. But discipline without purpose is dangerous. You must align your discipline with a clear vision. You must prioritize purpose over pleasure. Every day you will face choices to indulge in temporary comfort or to invest in long-term fulfillment. Pleasure will whisper, "Take a break, you deserve it." But purpose will whisper, "Stay focused, you're building something eternal." The people who achieve greatness are those who can sacrifice momentary pleasures for the sake of a larger purpose. You cannot afford to waste your precious hours on things that don't move you closer to your assignment. Purpose gives your discipline meaning. Purpose filters your yes and empowers your no. To stay aligned with purpose, you must build non-negotiable daily habits. These are not habits you practice when you feel like it. These are habits you execute because your future depends on them. Habits make success predictable. Successful people do not succeed because they are extraordinary. They succeed because they have built ordinary habits into their daily lives and refuse to negotiate them. These habits become part of their identity. They don't decide daily whether they will read, create, plan, or execute. It is already decided, but habits need a structured environment to grow. This is why you must master the power of a routine. A routine is not a cage, it is a compass. It organizes your day. Without routine you drift. With routine you direct. You don't wake up every day asking, "What should I do?" You wake up knowing what must be done. Your routine becomes your personal manager. It eliminates distractions before they arrive because your schedule is already filled with intentional action. People who live by routines don't waste time. They invest time, and while you build your routines, you must also learn to guard your time ruthlessly. Time is your most precious asset. It is the currency of destiny. People will demand your time for things that don't matter. Opportunities will knock that look good, but are not aligned with your purpose. You must become aggressive in defending your time. You must say no without guilt. Every minute you spend out of alignment with your purpose is a minute that will never return. Successful people understand that their schedule is sacred. They don't let external noise disrupt their internal focus. But in your journey, perfection will try to deceive you. Perfection will tell you that you are not ready, that you must wait until things are flawless. But perfection is a lie. You must measure progress, not perfection. Success is not found in perfect moments. It is found in persistent progress. Every small step forward is a seed planted into your future. You must celebrate the small wins. They are signs of growth. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to be perfect. Progress is what builds momentum. Progress builds confidence. The person who makes small, consistent steps will always outpace the person who waits for perfect conditions. But you will never build consistency in isolation. You must surround yourself with accountable people. Accountability is not control, it is protection. You need people who will challenge your excuses, people who will remind you of your commitments. You need a circle that pushes you forward when you want to slow down. Accountability accelerates growth because it ties your actions to consequences. Isolation weakens discipline, but accountability strengthens it. Find people who will not tolerate your laziness, people who will celebrate your discipline and correct your complacency. And while you build discipline, guard your time, and stay accountable, you must also embrace a long-term vision. Most people fail because they are obsessed with short-term results. They want instant gratification, but greatness is not microwaved, it is marinated. Success requires a long-term mindset. You must see beyond the moment. You must understand that every small, disciplined action is a brick being laid for your future. Long-term thinkers are not distracted by immediate results because their eyes are fixed on legacy, not applause. When you work with a long-term vision, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stay focused on building brick by brick, day by day. The temptation to quit comes when you measure your efforts by immediate results. But when you understand that you are building something bigger than yourself, you remain consistent even when the results are invisible. The world celebrates moments of success, but ignores the years of quiet discipline that made those moments possible. You must learn to be faithful in obscurity. You must learn to build when no one is watching, to sow seeds when there is no applause, to invest time when there are no visible rewards, because destiny responds to long-term vision, not short-term emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to master time and rise into your destiny, you must discipline yourself beyond motivation. You must choose purpose over pleasure. You must craft non-negotiable habits, live by intentional routines, protect your time, measure progress instead of perfection, build a circle of accountability, and work with a long-term vision that outlasts every distraction. These are the pillars of a life that commands time, maximizes potential, and creates legacy. You will not stumble into greatness. You must build it brick by brick, choice by choice. Your future is not waiting for you, it is calling you. But it will not answer to your wishes, your hopes, or your feelings. It will respond only to your discipline, your decisions, and your daily actions. Destiny is not an accident. It is a product of intentional living. The people who rise are not those who wait for motivation. They are those who master themselves, who protect their time, who build non-negotiable habits, who surround themselves with accountability, and who keep their eyes fixed on a vision that is bigger than their comfort. The truth is, time will pass whether you build or not. Time will move whether you stay focused or stay distracted. But only those who take authority over their time will command their future. You must decide today that you will no longer live as a victim of emotions, distractions, and temporary pleasures. You are not called to survive your days. You are called to maximize them. Greatness is not a gift given to a few. It is a reward for those who are disciplined enough to build consistently, silently, and relentlessly, even when no one is watching. Every brick you lay today is constructing the legacy you will leave tomorrow. So, stop waiting, stop negotiating with your destiny, build with urgency, work with focus, live with discipline, because your life is too valuable, your assignment is too important, and your time is too limited to live casually.